You will not see my face in this video because I need the whole screen to show you some details about how my grading system works. And the main three questions are what you can see right here. I'll pretty much do them in this order. How and really why I use a different grading system I've been using for about 5 years now. You want to know how you can get good grades like a B or more. And there's a word I use of reboot, also the word mission. So I'll define those as we go too. Letter grades you've been getting for a few years now in school, but in the real world, that's not really how people get judged or scored. You see it on food like eggs. Some restaurants, they've actually used like a grading system when they do inspections. But in the real world, that's not really how it goes. Really, honestly, you know, you get judged on something like this. Like at some point, you don't get how to do something. And maybe as you get more practice, you can barely get it. And then you're closer. And then there's a point where you get it. You get that knowledge, that information, or you get how to do something. And some people can even take that farther. They totally get what it is. And sometimes we use different words, but really it breaks down to like sort of these 5 here. Press like this. So you can see from like left to right how you are getting better at something. Okay. So that could be tasks like this. In class, we'll actually practice a couple of these, but these are the kinds of things that, some people don't get how to do, like maybe golf. And then there's some people who are really, really good at these things. They totally get how to do it. Again, this will work better in class. There's also things that you could know, right? Like if you haven't read the summer reading book, then you don't get it. Or maybe someone gives you like some clues, so you barely get it, but someone who read it maybe more than once could say they totally get it. And sports fans might be able to evaluate the roster. It doesn't look good this year. That would be a pretty simple evaluation. Okay. Again, this is one we'll practice in class. I'm not going to do this now, but if you're at like a very basic kind of level, you barely get how to say the alphabet. And we'll get to some examples in a bit here. And then a solid, I use the word like solid understanding is when, no, you get it, you can do it. And if you're really, really good, you can get it at a deeper sort of level. So a basic level, a solid level, and a deep level. These are some other words I will use a lot. If you're sort of like in between, maybe there's a better word I could use for this, but we could call it not quite solid, better than basic. And of course, if you don't get it yet, you're not there yet. That doesn't mean you're a terrible person, it just means you're not there yet. Okay, so we're building up towards what this looks like for grades. What I do when I assign a unit, when we're working on a new skill, so let's take this one as an example. First, I want to check your basic understanding of it, right? So like for this topic, could you tell the difference between a letter and another shape? If you think a square is a letter, then you don't get what the alphabet is, right? So once you can do that, we could check that box. If you get it, right, then you can get from A to Z in the right order, but that also means you have to say the letters correctly, or else you don't really have a solid understanding. And if you really get the alphabet, you can go all the way backwards, Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, and so on. Or maybe you could show it another way, right? You could put things in, apply that by putting things in an alphabet order. So this is actually not for this topic, but this is kind of how I present a new topic. Let's put this into letter grades. I bet you're maybe thinking, well, what does this have to do with? And maybe you've figured it out already. Because the thing is, I have to still use letter grades on report cards and in Schoology. So how do you think this breaks down? Yep, that would be an F. You gonna see the pattern here? A B to get a good grade means you need to be in that solid understanding level. Show me that you get it. And then again, because you probably filled in the blanks already here. That's really how it goes. I rarely use pluses and minuses. I find that just makes things more complicated. At the end of a term, maybe I have to average, and maybe we get a plus or a minus. But really, I try to keep it simple. That's another reason I'm doing this. I'm trying to make it simpler than chasing for points or something like that. Okay, so that's right? How can you say the alphabet? So let's build this thing again here, right? Okay, so here's how it would work. If we get to the end of this alphabet unit, and that's what you can do, right? You've shown you can do those things. That's a B. You have to be able to do the basics and the solids. You can't just jump ahead. So all these boxes would have to be checked. If you only partly did one of those things, there, you're almost there. You're at a C level. Again, that's a fine grade, but not as high as someone who do these things. And what if you can do one of those, right? One of those things gets you into the A range. It said or, so you didn't have to have both of them done. That's how you get an even stronger or higher grade on the letter scale that we have to use. That was a B. Okay, so what if someone's like sort of kind of done that, like makes some sorts of errors or so? I've invented an in-between grade. I call it A/B. It's right on that line between A minus and B plus. Again, it's something I've sort of invented. Why? Because you're right in between the A range and the B range. That's why I've invented this one. This is one we'll do in class. So to review here, to earn a B, you have to do all the basic tasks. Maybe there's just one or two, or three, and you need to do all the solid tasks as well before the mission ends. When I say mission, I mean just the assignment, the topic that we're doing, and it has to be by the last day of that mission. Sometimes that would be before class. Sometimes I'll give you till the real end of the day before you go to bed, basically, because these have to end at some point. So that's what it takes to earn a B, a pretty good grade for a mission. And again, this is a little reminder of what that would look like, okay? All right, the basics and the solids. Sometimes there'll be a different number of basics and solids, but this is how I'm checking what it is that you're able to do. A reboot. Hi, Fortnite fans. So when you're rebooting something, again, just like in Fortnite or in other games, you're sort of restarting, you're revising something, and then you have to resubmit what that was, or maybe it's retaking a quiz. Depending what it is, sometimes I'll give you just the questions that you'd missed, but usually I'll give you the whole thing to make sure you still remember all of it, that you're still able to do all of it. One thing that's a bit different is that I'm not averaging together scores. I'm not taking away points because you took a bit longer to get to finish the mission. And I don't believe in partial credit for things either. Like you can't get more than a 70 or something. I'm not using numbers like that, right? Because I just don't think these things are fair. So that's another reason I'm using this system is I'm trying to be as fair as possible. In Schoology, I scribbled out the names, but this is what it looks like in Schoology. So for this student, see where it says needs a, let me zoom in again. These were some like the little topics there. All right. So let me come back. So this person, I've programmed Schoology. So instead of putting grades, it will tell you if something's complete or if you didn't quite finish whatever the task was. So that's the information that you can get in Schoology even before class to see, oh, Mr. Swan thinks I need to fix this. And you'll probably find comments, details somewhere of why I don't think it's complete and what you would need to do. If you see something with this line here, don't worry about it. It just means it's on a list, but I haven't assigned it yet. I haven't opened it up in Schoology. So that's not a minus really, it's like a blank. And then right down here, see M1 grade, mission 1. So for the first one of the year, I would put the official grade. See, again, this one's not done yet, so we just call it incomplete. And we might have 6 missions, 7 missions in a grading term. I average those together to get the letter grade because I have to treat you like eggs. They force me to. So again, just to review, here we are at the end. Where are you at here right now, right? Do you feel like you you already get it. Maybe this is not your first time watching this video or getting this information. At the beginning, you probably totally didn't get it. You were all the way down in the red zone, but hopefully you're somewhere in the beyond that. Hopefully you at least partly get it. And we're just going to get to learn more through practice.